The time has finally come for Jean-Luc Picard to... For JL to... Star Trek Picard returned this week, and No, Dave quit for some reason, and I'm lonely and afraid. The Hugh hug, the Hugh, if you will, was great last week, but... I need some serious reinforcements.
Oh, man. Oh.
That just might do it. Welcome back, William Riker. Welcome back, Deanna Troi. And welcome back to SYFY WIRE's Warp Factor Picard Edition, Episode 7. Engage! Prepare once more for mission briefing! That's the stuff. All crew to spoiler stations because this is gonna get naked time for spoilers. If you haven't watched the new episode Nepenthe, then shields up and red alert! We got the rest of Commodore O's conversation with Dr. Jurati from a few episodes back. The Commodore gave her a vision of synth calamity using a Vulcan mind meld. She then made Agnes chew and swallow a tracking device. Oh. In the present, La Sirena escapes from the cube artifact, and Space Legolas decides to stay behind and help Hugh. Narek pursues La Sirena, and Rios suspects Raffi is a spy. Nope, try again. On the planet Nepenthe, so much fun to say, try it. Nepenthe. JL and Soji have a visit with Riker, Troi, and their daughter Kestra. JL gets some much-needed counsel from his old friends, and Kestra takes a liking to Soji. They all form a new plan together, and Soji starts to trust Picard. They might be the greatest family in the galaxy. I don't want to cover this next part, but I have a duty to the truth. On the cube, artifact, Hugh's had it after Narissa executes a bunch of XBs, so he tells Elnor that he's going to use the Queen's chamber to take over the entire ship. Narissa hears him say this, so Elnor takes her on hand-to-hand in the manner of the Jant Vash and Koat Malat. It's all good until she throws a cheap dagger in Hugh before transporting away. Jant Vash. Hugh dies. So Elnor now needs another XB to power the Queen's chamber. He manages to send a signal to the Fenris Rangers. Jurati puts herself in a coma while deactivating her chewable tracker. La Sirena escapes Narek, and Rios heads to Nepenthe to pick up JL and a Soji who is finally on the path to healing. Riker and Troi walk back into their house with something resembling peace.
Sukat! His eyes uncovered!
Did the new episode come locked and loaded with references to Trek past, as well as new canon to enhance the journey? Do I have a completely unnatural Cybok obsession? Yes, and for some reason, yes. Sukat! His eyes uncovered! The name Nepenthe is derived from Homer's The Odyssey, in which a drug with a similar name can banish grief. Riker and Troi have grief to banish, so they went on active reserve and came to this planet of regenerative soil after their son Thad became ill. Thad could have been cured with a positronic matrix, but there were none to be found. The synth band was active, so Thaddeus Troi Riker died. The name Thaddeus is a Riker family name, as we learned in the Voyager episode Death Wish, when one of the Q rescued a Thaddeus Riker in the Civil War. Riker calls Troi Imzadi.
Easy there, Imzadi.
Which is a Betazoid word that means beloved. It is first used in the TNG pilot, Encounter at Farpoint. Many scenes between Riker, Troi, and Picard made us feel like we were right back on the bridge of the Enterprise D. For those brief moments, my friends, we'd come home. Home and heart usually get locked in together, and Jean-Luc references his artificial heart early on, something from the TNG episode Tapestry. Nausicaan much? Remember that?
Do you play the violin? No. Do you like Sherlock Holmes? I guess so. Can you run super fast and jump really high and bend steel with your hands?
Kestra's knowledge of all things Data spans many TNG episodes. We see his violin playing many times, but we also see him play Sherlock Holmes on the holodeck in Elementary Dear Data, his desire to have dreams in Birthright, learning to dance in Data's Day, and trying to learn jokes from Joe Piscopo in The Outrageous Okona. Didn't go well. Thankfully, Mr. Tricorder was still to come.
Mr. Tricorder.
Just see if you can help me get these panels open, will you?
Make it so.
A Gormagander gets mentioned, which is a creature that features in the Discovery episode Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad. And Tychon's Rift is also mentioned, which featured in TNG's Night Terrors. Nerissa's dagger looks similar to the dagger Shinzon uses in the film Star Trek Nemesis, but no Easter egg will save her from our wrath now. I don't care if she comes into the finale giving Cybok a piggyback ride, she's done. The Vulcan mind meld, a standard used by Spock, Tuvok, Sarek, and other Vulcans, was first seen in the original series episode Dagger of the Mind. For more background on everything in this episode, mind meld with the Academy, and check out the Riker classic Peak Performance from TNG Season 2. To see Riker and Troi finally stop pretending and let the Imzadi happen, revisit Star Trek Insurrection. It's more fun than you remember. Maybe, maybe not. My mind to your mind. My thoughts to your thoughts.
Speaking of drinking, may I?
Please.
Thank you.
I need my tea! Earl Grey never fails. Which is good, because I need all of its Nepenthe powers right now. Every single line from Riker and Troi was like having a light injected into my artificial heart, but the Troi line that came out on top came when she gave some tough love to Picard. This isn't something a ship's
counselor is supposed to say, but you had it coming.
No one's challenging me. He really is gone. Well, gotta toss in some Riker, something I always say, and include his line,
I recognize that head tilt. Anywhere. The kid's got Data in her DNA.
Riker. But the true winner once again goes to JL, who has personally inspired me to move forward with my life. In a post-Dave world, I'm alive.
And I have a mission, which means there's not a hell of a chance that you or anyone else can stop me.
To hell with the no-win scenario. Earl Grey never fails, and neither does a visit with old friends.
What you are about to experience will drive you mad.
So, everything and everyone is now gonna convene on Soji's homeworld for a bloodbath, right? Is that what's gonna happen? I mean, where did Commodore O get that vision from? Her lovely imagination? Are trillions of lives really at stake, or just a whole lot of egos? Does the mind meld mean that Jurati ain't no android? Not necessarily. Spock mind melted once with Nomad on TV, and then V'ger in the films. He also mind melded once with a whale, which isn't applicable, but I just like bringing it up. Will Nerissa pay for what she's done? Because she had damn well better. I can think of one XB who works with the Fenris Rangers who just got called. She may be more than a little pissed off. We know what happens when 7 of 9 gets mad, and now she could potentially gain control over an entire artifact with Space Legolas by her side. Ram that Biznosh right up the Jopbosh 7. Ram it, but good. Speaking of people getting and going mad. Not seen, not mentioned, not once by Troi or Riker, but I swear to God, show, if you take her away off screen, if you say, yes, well, when she died 2 years ago or whatever, you don't want to know what I'll do. You really don't. You think you've seen me insane? You ain't seen Our hailing frequencies are now open. Last week we asked the following: how many more secret synths may be out there? A, just Soji. B, Soji and a couple others. C, Soji and a ton of others. D, so many they can't be counted. The most popular answer was C, Soji and a ton of others. One viewer did write in an interesting answer of their own. A, unless the Borg count, then D. Another viewer, still remarking on who the real villain of this show is, writes, clearly, the real villain is Dave. Clearly, Dave. Well, for one thing, too soon. For another, you could be right. Maybe that's why he died. Quit. He didn't die. We can do it again, it's fine. I can. Be sure to check out this week's poll. Is this the last we'll see of Riker and Troi on this show? The answers are simple. A, hell no. B, yes, they deserve peace. The poll can be found on Twitter, but if that's not the way you Nepenthe, then assimilate our YouTube comments section with your answer. Computer, activate the EFCMH. Please state the nature of the fictional character mourning emergency. Oh, I see. Hugh. This one hurts. Used to be only red shirts died. Now, people still die, only we know them now. I couldn't help but notice your pain. I'll be seeing Hugh in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day, Hugh. Avenge himself.